Hello, thank you so much for joining Ateno Reviews. Thank you for watching this video. And today, I really want to share with you about my pregnancy journey. Stay tuned, and I hope you're going to learn one or two things. And if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe and hit the notification button below so that anytime I upload any video, you don't miss it. So generally, I want to put a disclaimer that I'm not a professional. Everything that I'm going to share with you and from my experience, and any advice, you may take it or leave it. That's up to you. And if it works for you, better. If it doesn't work for you, you can try and also ask professionals for advice. Now, I am a mother of two boys, and I wanted to share with you my birth experience, my pregnancy and birth experience of my firstborn, because it was quite what can I say? It was quite an experience for me, being my firstborn, and so many things happening that I didn't know about, and learning process. So that is really what I want to share with you. Before we go on, kindly subscribe, and let's get to the story. I'm not very good at storytelling, but then I will just share with you my experience. I hope I won't leave you behind when I'm sharing this, because I'm not very good in storytelling. Now, this is 2017 when I'm pregnant of my firstborn. And how did I know that I was pregnant? I started becoming sickling, very sickling. And most of the time I'll just take painkillers to maybe calm my headaches. And then I also started developing some fevers, loss of appetite. And because I had traveled to the Western, I decided, let me just go and take a malaria test. Maybe mosquito iliniuma. So that is what I thought, and I decided, it doesn't pay. Let me just go and take a malaria test. So I went to the hospital. I was tested. Everything was negative: typhoid, malaria, so many questions asked. Then finally, the doctor asked me, when was your last menses? I couldn't even remember by then. So he told me, anyway, well, let us just conduct a pregnancy test so that we are sure. Then I was like, why not? I was accompanied by my husband, so I was like, why not? But then I was very certain and very sure that I wasn't pregnant. So I was like, let them just rule it out for benefits of doubt. There we are waiting for the results, and I really have nothing in my mind, because I don't know if I was ready for pregnancy by then or not, because I think it wasn't anything in my mind at that point. And then after some time, the doctor called me in, and to cut the long story short, I was told I am pregnant. What? I was so shocked because I didn't know it was happening to me. I don't know what I expected. Actually, if you ask me, I don't know what I expected. But then it was just shortly after I married, after my wedding. But then, now my husband was so excited. He was very excited. Kindly share with me if your husbands are always very excited when they notice you're pregnant. Because he was super excited. Me on the other side, I was so confused because I really didn't know what to expect. Sincerely, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know. What I can say is that I didn't know. I don't know if I was ready or not, but then I was like, let it just come. Now I'm pregnant. What else? What next? So I left the hospital, went home. My first trimester was not very good or very easy, and I've also noticed that my first trimesters are not very easy. And from also my readings, first trimesters are not always very easy, because it is a foreign thing growing in you. So there's a lot of body adjustment that has to take place. Maybe that is the reason as to why it's always that difficult. So I was so sleepy, lack of appetite, a lot of nausea, and I lacked motivation. Even I was working as a salesperson, always on the field, always having meetings, walking from one meeting to the other. I used to really push myself to be able to perform, and actually I'm a performer. I'm not bragging, but then I used to perform even though. So I worked, and at the same time there was a lot of walking, which was so good for pregnancy. Though it was tedious the first trimester, I can assure you, I was so tired. By the time I was home, I used to sleep, because I would get from work and head to classes. I will be done with classes by around 9 p.m. Then I get home. It was really a bit hectic for me, and considering it was my first trimester, by the time I was reaching home, I was dead tired, dead tired. I remember sometimes I'll go get home and find my husband just maybe he hasn't prepared something, or maybe he just got in and he has not prepared anything. I will get mad. I will get mad. I will always be thinking, how will he be not? How will he be this inconsiderate? Will you just pick something from the fridge and prepare it? I will always quarrel and talk and talk and talk. But then after some time, I guess he got used to it. And also with his excitement that I was pregnant, he never took it or he never found it offensive. He will help maybe most of the time when he comes home first, because sometimes most of the time I have pre-cooked food, so he will just fry and do some little here and there to make a meal. Furthermore, we were only two, so there was no much work to be done when in terms of preparing food. So like I said, the first trimester was so hard. Food, no food by mouth. I wasn't vomiting, but it was just tired. I was tired. I was always quiet. I was never the talkative one. I was always quiet most of the occasion. In office, maybe when I'm in the house, I would always be quiet. I wanted that quietness, and I also wanted not to be bothered at all. I didn't want anyone to bother me. Now, my second trimester was now a game changer. It was so different, very different, and what I can say is that I did a lot of eating. My first trimester, like I told you, I never used to eat a lot. I would just eat enough for the day. But then my second trimester, I can say I doubled my portion for eating. I used to eat a lot. And what I can tell you is that I also ate a lot of junk food, because when I'm at work, I will always prefer dry food. And my work by then involved a lot of visitation to the hotels. And maybe I would go to Intercon. The chef there was my former colleague from Italy College. So when I'm there, they will give me like chips and chicken. If I go to like Regency, I will get something else. I will move to the next, And sometimes I had bad cravings in my second trimester. I had bad cravings. Sometimes I would crave for samosas. And samosa were to come from a specific, very specific restaurant in town. And I would go. Pregnancy can make you stupid, because I will go to this restaurant in town. I will sit down, take one glass of tea, and maybe 4 or 5 or even 6 samosas in one sitting. Until one day the waiters were talking about me in a corner, and I noticed that they were talking about me. Though I felt offended, but I was like, is it their money? It is mine. I'm buying. And my cue, by the time I'm being proud of myself that it is my money that I'm using to buy food, I have eaten. That is my fare home. That was my fare home. So after I ate my fare at home, I remember I was so embarrassed to call my husband and ask him for fare, because he had given me fare that time. So I called my friend and I told him, hey, Maze, you know what has happened? And she was like, Lydia, you've eaten your fare. Because it had happened earlier. So she just knew. And that time I was calling, it was around 7, almost 8. I didn't go to class that day. So she was very sure if there was no any problem, I've eaten my fare. Kukula fare, hata saa zingine huwa tunajikulia wenyewe. So now I ate. Then she sent me fare. I went home. Long story short. So my second trimester was a lot. And again, another thing that happened to me is that all of a sudden I was so energetic. I would move from one meeting to the other, always climbing the stairs, like I didn't need the lift. I was so energetic until one day I remember we had a meeting at Dusit, and there's a hall in Grasovena building just opposite Dusit Hotel. So this hall, when I was there, I was doing a lot of presentation and all that. And someone told me, wow, Lydia, someone cannot even tell you're pregnant. The way you're moving is so swift. And you're doing your thing so fast that someone cannot even imagine you're pregnant, because the bump was already coming out and someone can tell that you're pregnant. So I was so swift, always moving, doing so many things, and my appetite was bad. I would eat, but then my choice was food was wrong. I added a lot of weight. Another thing that happened to me in my second trimester is that I added a lot of weight. By the time I was getting pregnant, I think I was 60. I have not confirmed it, yes, I don't remember it right now. But then I was about 60. So by the time I was in my second trimester, I was 70 kgs plus. Mimi nayo kukula na I was eating. If I come to your house, and then people's food were more sweeter to me than my own food. If I visited you, I will eat properly. But my food, unless maybe if my husband prepared, then that is a different experience. But then for me, it was always not my food, but anyone else. So that is something also that happened to me. And then, is there anything that really happened in my second trimester that I can remember that was unique? No. I think that was it. My energy levels, my appetite grew so much. I became so fast. I was so motivated. I wanted to achieve a million goals in a short span of time. And then we get my third trimester. Because of adding weight, what really hurt me so much is that I added a lot of weight. By the time I was my second trimester, the 8th month,